Good afternoon. Welcome to Jim Munley's World of Weather. Clicked on to long-range weather forecast discussion for January 30th through February 13th. Sorry about no post on Saturday. I had technical issues, computer problems, but it seems to be cleared up now. This is the long-range weather forecast discussion, like I said, for January 30th to February 13th. The pattern for January 30th to February 3rd, we have a ridge of the eastern Pacific pushing into the western U.S. with a trough, pushes the trough eastward, and it'll eventually move into the east, but then a trough in the east will push out into the western Atlantic as another trough approaches the west. So we're going to take a look at this. This is what the models are forecasting. And you see the trough now, we get to the third, the fourth, the trough now is out into the western Atlantic. Okay, so during this period, let's go to another map. There will be precipitation in the west as a series of systems move in, and this will bring higher elevation snow and lower elevation rain. And then late this week into the weekend, precipitation will spread across portions of the southern tier and the eastern U.S. So we're going to go to that. And you can see the system in the Gulf starting to develop. Here's 7 p.m. on Friday. Go to 7 a.m. on Friday, and we have snow breaking out here across this region. And this is the GFS, and then we'll look at the European. European is further offshore. Notice where the 540 line is. And then we go to the GFS. Notice where the 540 line is down here. GFS is a little further north. And the question is still a lot to be figured out as there's no clear one solution. I was looking at the European ensemble members, and they're kind of like all over, but they seem to be clustering more to the part of offshore, but how far offshore is still the question. And there's still expected to be some kind of snow or some amounts of snow across some portion of the east. And like I said, this will have to depend on the strength and the week and the track of the storm. So then we'll go to 7 p.m. on Saturday. Kind of now it's further offshore, but we have another system moving in from the west as it dives southeast. You can see right here, bringing light snow to the region, and then it goes offshore early next week, and then it continues its track southeastward. That also has to be watched. And then we'll go into another system. And that looks to be rain because it gets warmer. And notice where the 540 line was on that. Okay, we're going to look at the period for February 4th to the 8th. And a ridge is forecast to move over the eastern Pacific and moves into the west. A trough with the northerly flow is forecast across much of the nation. You can see right here, below normal heights. Most of the models are showing that. So for this forecast period, I am forecasting above normal temperatures here, and I'm forecasting anomalies of 2 to 4 degrees above normal, below normal temperatures for this region here, and I'm forecasting anomalies of 2 to 4 degrees below normal for precipitation. Calling for above normal precipitation here and for this region, and the probability of occurrence is 35%. Then we have a below normal precipitation for this region and for the southern plains. Probability of occurrence is 35 to 45%. Then we're going to look at the period for February 9th to the 13th. And look what we have here. The first time we've seen this in a while. We have heights begin to build. The pattern will be more amplified as these heights build. Some of the models are stronger with the height anomalies that are building across this region. You can see here, this is GFS. It's also more aggressive with this trough here compared to the rest of the models. Kind of weaker. However, you take a look at the European ensembles has a ridge out further to the east, and we have a little bit of split flow here that'll be developing with a zone of flow with near to below normal heights across much of the nation. That is we have to wait and see how that develops. Now we're going to look at the indices. The AO is forecast to be near neutral, positive to near neutral during this time. The NAO, the AO will remain positive, and the PNA also remains positive, maybe slightly near neutral during this period. Another aspect to look at, the polar vortex. Now, there is forecast to be some kind of disruption in the polar vortex. I know you've been hearing this before, but it's possible. But as the latest runs show, we're going to go through here, it's more stretched out. There was supposed to be a separation of the polar vortex around the 4th, around this period. But as you look here, it's more elongated and stretched out as these heights build here. Warming occurs, and it's more stretched out. And this might bring colder air in. How long this lasts probably won't be long. But it's something to be watched now. This is the polar vortex here, and it gets stretched southward. And we'll see how that works out. So for this forecast period, I am forecasting above normal temperatures west of the east of the divide, and I'm forecasting numbers at 2 to 4 degrees above normal. Below normal temperatures are forecast for this region here, and forecasted numbers at 2 to 6 degrees below normal are forecast. Now let me see if I have the other map. What I want to show probably don't. Nope. Some of the models like GFS is forecasted numbers of 12 degrees or more below normal. We'll have to see how that is. I doubt that very much. But for now, I'm saying that because the way the winter's been going, forecast anomalies to be about 2 to 6 degrees below normal. For precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation here. Probability of occurrence is 35%. And then we have above normal precipitation here. Probability of occurrence is 35 to 40%. And getting back to what I said before, the reason that I'm saying this is because if we look at the MJO, it goes back to a milder phase. This is the forecast through the 8th. It goes back to a milder phase and from the Indian Ocean, and weekends. So we have to wait to see how this develops. There's a lot of things going on. So that's a long range weather forecast discussion for January 30th to February 13th. Thanks for coming to Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.